back on the indirect method that you did last week. If you're here, it looks like, right? You don't have a grade on these. Most of them won't worth putting a grade on. Um, Only a couple of people might get out of doing it on the test. We don't have a name. I'll just hang those two. Main code is not here. This is not here. Office is not here.
I'm here.
You are, aren't you? Who sneaked in? Who sneaked in?
You know what I see? The white intrusion is like.
Give me a blank. I did do one. Not here. Come in, Robert. Here's something for me. I can't believe it, children. Walker Brown's not here. Jimmy West is not here. Yes, it is. Pete is from Carlos. See Franco?
I did find it.
Robert Brown's not here. Let's see. Jacob, you came in. Kenny Webb's not here. See. Get out.
Did I do it right?
You might have.
I know you did it right.
All right, let's look at this, folks. Not many of you got it. Only a couple of you may have gotten it well enough to have gotten the points on it. It is 20 points on your next test. And you all will have a chance to take it again, so don't worry about that. Jessica, did you take it? You weren't here? Huh?
I had food poisoning.
Well, take a blank one. All right, now if we were doing a cash flow statement, the indirect method, which you will have on the test now, don't think Kelly has taken on the test, maybe a couple of them. We'll see how well you got it. I advanced through all of them. There was some miss, such a mess. I didn't feel great on them. But I looked at every one of them. All right, first thing you should do is take the difference between your accounts receivable, your inventories, and even your investment, your accounts payable. One investment yet, but the current liabilities and the current assets. Now, the first thing we gotta do is find the net income. Is it given? Sure it is. How much is it? First thing on your paper is net income of how much? All right. The next thing is we try to find depreciation. And that's right there also on the income statement. How much is depreciation?
I don't think we're gonna have proper.
That's negative 14.3. We got to take out one.
Where did we get the 14.3 first?
I was minus 128, 128,000 by 113,700. I took that out of.
All right, now that's the way you would normally have to do it. And you would get 14.3, what?
Can you see how much that come together?
What?
I didn't know what this thing come together.
That's what we're talking about. All right. Now, first off, fully depreciated equipment cost of 39 was scrapped. Bonds payable, cash dividends, all sales from unaccount. There is a conflict here. Those answers should have been the same. There's a conflict on this test.
That like problem is supposed to be for the direct method. So I don't know if we can you do the indirect method.
Yes.
That is just confusing.
No, you still do the indirect farming.
So there's.
We'll make sure. We'll make sure. But there is a conflict with appreciation. You ask how you get it.
Yeah, she's showing me.
You would normally just go up there and say, year 10 is 128, and year 11 is 113. But you sold some equipment that was more depreciated. When you do that, you write off the equipment, you write it off. Now, let's see, more depreciated equipment cost of 39 was scrap.
So you minus that.
All right, wait, 39,000 was written off, accumulated depreciation.
Yeah.
Let's go through and add 39,113 to 7, see what it would have been if we not have sold that equipment. And 39,113 sales.
I think I tried that, it didn't work.
Let's see. All right, now subtract 128 from that.
Yeah.
How much?
You get 128 or the original to start over.
No, you can't get 128. Okay, Jake, help me out here. Take 113.7 and 39 to it.
Yeah, so add 113.7 to 39.
Right. Now subtract 128 from that. Was it, did you what?
24/7, which says depreciation.
Okay. All right, it was given to you straight out on the income statement, 24/7 is depreciation expense. That's what you had to do. You didn't have to go in the back door like I just had Jacob to do to prove it. But if all else fails and you didn't have an income statement, you would go up and take the difference between accumulated depreciation beginning and end. Had you sold no equipment, that works fine. But you sold equipment, you wrote off $39,000 of accumulated depreciation. When you sell something, you had that back in the previous chapter. You debit your cash, you debit accumulated depreciation, you credit your equipment, and you debit the loss or credit the gain. So there was 39,000 more of accumulated depreciation you missed. Now, who did have 24,700 on your statement? Who did?
I did that one.
Who did? All right, you did say, you did,
24,700.
yeah, that is correct. Mr. All right. Okay, so I hope you're going along with me. I think maybe Alexandra up here. Now, what do we do with accounts receivable? It went down, what, 6,700? What'd you do with that, Alexandra?
As an increase, so you added it.
You added. And what do you do with inventories? It went up by 12,002. What do you do with inventories? It went up. You subtracted. And what do you do with accounts payable? It went up. When accounts payable goes up, what do you do with it, folks? Add it. All right, so is that all you have on operating? Or do you have something else?
There wasn't, I don't think the format was right.
You should stop right there. You had everything right that you put in bonds payable and investments. You can't do that. Say, were you close? Maybe nobody got it. All right, say, it looks like it's the closest thing to have. So I didn't notice that when I looked at them.
I got everything except for depreciation, but I got the same numbers, like at the end. Like I added the scrap back to, or like I added the scrap back in the investment part.
Yeah, Jacob, you made it fit.
Yeah.
I guess you can see that. I don't know how to clear it up or even make it bigger right now. I know there's a zoom on it. All right, it looks like Sage may have done what he was supposed to. Net income, correct depreciation, a decrease in accounts payable, he added, increase in inventory, subtracted, increase in accounts payable, he added. That's all you do on operating the indirect method. All right, did you get 107 or something here? Is that a zero say? I guess it is.
Right? Yeah, the correct number would have been 141,500 if you added the depreciation. So,
Oh, the correct number is 1074.
well, I mean, if this is net income down here, right here, then it has the net income up there wrong. That's 69.3.
He does, don't he? I thought somebody had it right. Say the net income is 103. 400. What in the world did you get 64.3?
He probably subtracted retained earnings from that.
Well, now that's another story. If you didn't have net income, you could take the difference in retained earnings, but what is the difference in retained earnings? I guess say it says it's 60 what? All right, but you pay dividends out of retained earnings, say.
That's 69.3.
All right, add 28,000 to that amount. That's dividends paid. Add 28,000 to that. See what you get. I don't know if it'll work or not. Does it work?
And how much did you say add to it?
28,000
28,000.
to 49.3.
I add 28,000, I only get.
That is only about 70, isn't it? And 28 is only about 30. That would be less than 100. Cash dividends declared and or paid. Now go back up on retained earnings. First off, please take 236 and subtract 160 and see what you get. Take 236.3 and subtract 169. What do you get?
5,400.
How much?
75,400.
And he got 69.3. Now take that 75,400, Alexander, and try add that 28,000 dividends to it.
103,400.
All right. And what is your net income?
103,400.
All right. Net income is 103. You didn't have to go subtract retained earnings. But if you don't have net income, I showed you how to do it. Take the difference in retained earnings. That's the net income you left in retained earnings. But you paid some of your net income out in dividends to 28,000. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to do this on the next page. All right. Let's try to get through the next part. You're welcome to correct these. You've got a copy of this. Now let's get down to investments. Now I saw investments, it went from 60 to 0. So we got a plus here. We sold investments. Not necessarily a gain on them. We just sold them, and that's cash, 60,000. It says we purchased equipment, cost 157. Where in the world you get 118, say? This has 157. Don't you believe what it said?
He took out 39,000 for scrap equipment.
Yeah. Could have done that. Okay. Now you know what you're doing. If you learn by your mistakes, say, you're going to make a honeycomb too.
So it's 157.
That's what it said. And equipment was purchased for 157. Cash out, 157. So what you put, Kelly?
I put 157.
We won't put. Oh, your operating was not correct.
No, I fixed my operating.
Well, let's finish it first. All right. So we got a plus 60 and a minus. You do see that's 257, don't you? If you see 118, you're blind. It's 257. Okay. Now, did we do anything else up here? Bonds, payables, common stock, cash, all sales on account, blah, blah. All right.
That's where I figured scrap equipment would have went as an investment.
Scrap, yeah, it was scrap.
Yeah.
When something's scrap, how much money do you see?
Oh, nothing, but I was adding it back because it was in the investment to begin with. Or that's what I thought.
No, not, yeah, I see what you're doing, it was not. Okay, 157 plus 60 would be how much? 157 plus 60.
Well, it'd be minus, so negative 97. Well, it'd be 157 minus 60.
That's right.
Negative 97,000.
Yeah, negative 97. Keep it straight, Jacob. That's a minus, this is a plus. That's where you get the minus 97. Now let's look at investments. All right, cash flow from financing, let's look at financing. Payment of bonds, is that clearly bonds payable for 100,000 were retired? We had to pay out 100,000, that's a minus, that's good. All right. How about 5,000 shares of common stock were issued at $15 a piece? What's 5,000 times 15 without even looking at your balance sheet? What's 5,000 times 15? Is that 75,000? All right. That's what Seth has. Okay, now, how would you look at that up there on the, balance sheet? On the balance sheet, we went from 200 to 250 in common stock. That's just 50 of it, isn't it? But in paid in capital, you went from 50 to 75. That's 25 of it. That makes 75, don't it? So these are good numbers. All right. Kelly, do you have those? Okay, now let's see. Payment of dividends, 28. That looks like a good number. Now, what was net cash flow? Was that 53 correct? Come on, Jacob, you're keeping up with this. Is 53 correct?
Yeah, 53 is correct.
All right. Now we got a minus, we got a plus up here, right? Take the plus, take the minus, and another minus, and what do we have?
You do 141,500 minus 97,000 minus get negative 8,005.
Wait a minute, Jacob. Start that.
Operating still wrong.
Operating still wrong?
Yeah.
I
The
thought
correct number is 141,500
minus
plus
141 what?
500.
All right. Well, we'll go back on that. What's the difference then? Because this is, oh, that's
Then
right.
that is,
That was wrong. What? That was 103.
yeah,
That was 103 what?
103,400.
Okay. Now we're okay here.
Yeah, 141,500.
Take the 141.5 plus minus 97 minus 53 gives you what?
Negative 1,500.
Well, now say it's new to put that in there, didn't you? So you can plug it in if you have to. All right. Now, cash on January the 1st. Do these work okay for you? Beginning cash and ending cash, are those correct on the balance sheet?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
Girl, we didn't
The what?
figure out what was wrong.
Yeah. Did you see what was wrong on yours? We just went over all the wrong stuff.
I know, but we just. That doesn't work. How'd you get the 141,500? I don't know.
Okay, Kelly, the net income was 1034, right?
Yes.
Okay, depreciation was 24/7, decrease, increase in inventories. I'm hoping those 5 check marks gives you the 141.5. Would somebody please check them?
It does.
It does, and it's correct. All right. Now, could we have done the direct method by this same stuff? I believe it'd been harder to. It says use the direct method. It'd been harder to do the direct method because we haven't studied it. I didn't want you to do it. Okay. Did anybody get it correct? Close word today.
I was very,
Alexander, you were close. Say you were real close. Yeah, you were close.
Where do you get these test marks?
A test button. It's just it's in the book too, the same way.
On the test and order this one.
What?
On the test and order this one.
Same, yeah.
So it says gain on sale investment, so why don't we use that? That has an outcome.
Okay, what is it?
That's what I did wrong.
Where did you see that?
It's on your income, on the income statement, it says gain on sale investment, why don't we use that?
Gain on the sale of investment. And then talk to subtract gain and add up. All right, we've counted that, let's see. From the sold investments here, let's see. Look up there, an investment went from 60 to 0, right? That 5,000 gain's already in that 60,
Why do we track it on the other one?
because it's either on equipment or land. Now, Kelly, I'm looking at that too, I'm thinking, okay, what's happening here?
I think they're.
Oh, not quite. Gain on sale of land, we'd have to subtract out, gain on sale of building, we'd subtract out.
Well,
If
if
we
it's an
subtract,
investment, don't subtract.
if we subtracted that 5,000 out, would that throw us off 5,000?
Yeah, that's where I went wrong. That's why I have the 139 and not the 129. I'll find out.
Okay, let's see. You had the correct net income, you had the correct depreciation, right?
Everything was, well, I didn't, I had a fixed depreciation, but.
You had the correct, so that's fixed depreciation.
But I added the gain, or subtracted the gain, so that's why.
I'm beginning to wonder, if that gain is in 103, then that gain is in the 60, it's double counting, you have to take it out once.
But if you take it out, the bottom, like the beginning and ending cash flow, like it doesn't work out. I mean, it
There's
works.
a flaw in the problem, but I think you still have to take that, I'm with you. Okay. All right, nobody gets any credit for this, but hopefully you learn from it. One thing about that game, we'll have to, I'll give you a decision on it Thursday. Now, you're going to have a test hopefully next Tuesday on 3 chapters. And we're going to look at ratios, of course, today. Is there any problem we need to clear up on this chapter? I think I signed you a problem by the direct method. Is that correct? The direct method, we're going to look at it real quick. But I think I cut it off. No, it's still going, thank goodness. Okay, now I took up homework, correct, on Thursday that counted as a bonus. Is that
I
correct?
think you said you would take care.
So go. I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday, what problems were those? Did I take problem 4 up?
No, I think you had to. I saw 3 and 4. Yeah, I think you was just telling everyone that they can figure it out.
Yeah, I thought I already had, that's okay. That's all right. Let's just look at this one solution.
Yeah, I think we turned it 1 and 2 in.
I thought you'd turn 1 or 2 of them in too, okay?
I don't think he took up because no one.
All right, this is chapter 16, correct?
Yeah, you said you were still gonna take them up.
But now, Kelly, if we look at any one of these problems in the book, they're similar to the one I gave you. However, you can see up here, a gain on sale of investments is subtracted. That's why I want to show these problems. That's why when I looked at it, I was puzzled too. But I don't know why it would pose a problem off 5,000. I don't know where we could gain 5,000.
It's already calculated again.
No, if we go by what we've learned in procedure, subtract out a gain. So please subtract out a gain on the test.
Would it like throw it off where it was set up for the direct method? That throw it off?
It should, but it's possible. We should take this problem and be able to do direct and indirect method. Because we get the same answer under operating, no matter which one you use. But I'm sure the author, sometime they have a graduate study doing these problems, that's one part they've overlooked. Something else would have had to change. If we subtract a gain from a sale or investment, we'd have had to have a $5,000 plus somewhere. Now, however, it was not counting. What did it say about investments? What did it say about investments? No. How much we sold investments, or how much? Here's where it is.
It didn't say it, we just went from 60 to 0.
All right, so we at least got 60,000 from our investments, cash, right? Okay, but we had a gain of 5. So how much did we get out of our investments? 65. So we should have 65, and then the minus 5 would equal that. All right, that's the paper, man.
That's not. Sorry.
Now, I'm not just talking to Kelly, I want to talk to all of you. I was telling Kelly we've got to do what we learned. And we can't go saying it's because it's the direct method. And we can't make excuses for some of these problems. I was beginning to think there was a mistake, but there is not. All right, now I want you to look at Kelly's paper. And how much does she have cash received from sale of investment? How much does she have? It should have had 65. All right. Do you see that, Jacob?
Yeah.
60. All right, she should have had 65. Because 60,000 is gone from investments. Plus we had a 5 gain. We got 65. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That's a 5. And then up here, she should have left this 5,000, which she had that correct. All right. A minus is a gain. Okay, that way we can't double. See, I was running through my mind, Kelly. Can't be double counting. 60,000 did not include the 5. I'm glad you pointed that out. Okay. But when we have a question like that, we've got to run it down. I can't have you, when we never straighten it out, and then you miss it on a test because we didn't straighten it out. All right, so 1A was the direct method, and I did take that one up. Margot, do you have your 1A?
It was chapter 15A. 15.
It was chapter 15, wasn't it? This 16. All right. And then we had another cash flow statement, 2A. I think we looked at 1 and 2 last week. And 3, you did not have to do, is that correct?
No, we had to do 3.
Well, these are not numbered or something, so you're gonna have to help me out. I got back to 2. That's a spreadsheet for 2.
And that,
So is this number 3?
yeah.
All right, did you have any trouble with this one? We had a net loss, and then we had depreciation. You had to find it. And we had a loss on the sale of land, that's added. Increase in accounts receivable minus, increase in inventories a minus, decrease in prepaid a plus because you paid out cash for prepaids before. Decrease in accounts payable is a minus. 169.6, the 4.6 you're operating. Now look at that problem in your book, please. Look at that problem in your book. And I want everybody to calculate the depreciation of 55,620. Well, I guess you would say the 2 closest. Correct. I'll give each one a 17 on it. You don't want to work out and try to get 20 points on the 50.
We do it on the test, we do worse.
No, I'll give you 17, both of you 17. The lowest you can get. Okay? You two are the closest. Alexander, how close were you? Jacob, how close were you?
What I did is I took out, I did the depreciation here and added scrap back to investments because that's where I thought it was
Right.
at.
I had this part right, and then I have to remember to take it out there.
Yeah, yours was probably closest. Hell, it's a change of 17. How close you was? Let me tell you about that.
I think I got 3 questions I did.
So I didn't necessarily do it. We still got the same thing.
Oh, mine's wrong, but I can show you, I can see if you did it right.
All right.
Here, right?
Has everybody got this depreciation calculated? See, you got it calculated? Rock, William? Has anybody got this calculated? Depreciation. Kelly? And you got 55,620. How did you calculate it? All right. So all you had to do, I don't have the problem opened up, but, let's see your problem there. Number 2. Number 3. We'll get there. All right, you had to look at T accounts, right? And to get depreciation, all you had to do was take the accumulated depreciation on your building. Depreciation for the year was 26,280. And then the accumulated depreciation on equipment for the year was 29,340. So that's how you got depreciation. Again, don't let that trick you. Any problems on investing? Cash from sale of land, cash from buying a building, cash used to purchase equipment, a big minus 514, where he had a minus 169. How did we raise money from financing? We sold bonds, we sold stocks, we paid dividends, but that's a positive 637, a negative of 46.8. Had your beginning cash, and that made your ending cash 918. You get that, Margot? without looking at modal, without looking at the solution? Good, good. All right, now the next problem is the only problem I asked you to do with the direct method. The only one. Are we clear? The direct method's not gonna be on the test. We're clear, okay. But some of you said I would have the direct method on the test.
Are we gonna have like multiple choice questions about the direct method?
Now, some of y'all like multiple choice real well last time, too well, I guess. Some of you like problems better. I think Jessica and Kelly like problems better. Margot, she does the same no matter what. Okay, yeah, you do about the same on either one. Alexander, I think he did better on problems, didn't he? William, I think you did better on problems.
I just don't think anyone likes it.
Well, if I put it on there, probably, let's say, won't be over 10 at the most. And they will probably only count 1 or 2 points apiece. I can make them count 1 point.
So we might have some on the direct method and multiple.
That is possible. You may have a direct method question on multiple choice. Yes, that's possible. All right, so we've got this chapter, cash flow. Do you remember what we had in chapter 15 will be on the test? Invested in other companies, the cost method, the equity method. Okay. Now let's look at this direct method. One time, now, is this number 4? Now, I want to repeat something on this problem. The only thing that changes is this part, the operating part. Investing in financing is the same for direct or indirect. The only thing that changes for the direct method is this part, but you still get the same answer. But you did it different. Here we took cash received from customers, and then cash payments for merchandise, and then cash payments for operating expenses, and cash payment for taxes. Here's cash in, cash out, cash out, cash out. And that's the way Robert Harris did the little quiz or whatever it was that I gave you last Thursday. Okay. Now, how many of you have 293.6 by the direct method? It's not that bad. All right, we're going to have to leave this chapter. I'm going to spend a lot of time with direct method. It's not on the test. And I talked to Dr. Dean Finance. He does the indirect method also in finance when you get there. So if you learn this, the indirect method will help you in finance and intermediate. You'll have it again intermediate. So learn it now or learn it later. And I believe it might be a managerial. So cash flow statement is one of the 4 statements in accounting. We deal all the time with the income statement. We deal all the time with the balance sheet. We deal all the time with the capital statement or retained earnings statement, but we don't deal all the time with the cash flow. That's why you'll get it 3 or 4 courses. It is one of the 4 official statements. Now, if you have these problems, this chapter I'll take them up for a moment. We got 5 bonus points on chapter 15. This is bonus points, folks, just for doing your homework. And be careful. If you ever had 5-point bonus on a Scantron or on a test and you didn't hand those in, I'll give you a 0 for the semester. When you hand these in, put 5 points on your test for sure. If you don't hand them in, don't you dare. I'll go back and double check it, give you a 0 for the whole semester. I don't want to do that. So if you have this homework, I'll take it for 5 bonus.
Are you taking up 1, 2, 3, and 4?
All of it. This whole chapter.
I've got this stuff before we get that.
Oh, you just did four? At all?
For chapter 6.
You didn't do the 1, 2, 3? Chapter 16.
Yeah, but I can try to. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, the years since I had a strength with the back of the mess. Would it be?
Yeah. All right, folks. $18 people, 5 papers here. So 5 people gets 5-point bonus on their homework. And I'm sure these people get 5 points from chapter 15. They've got 10 to start with, okay? Or they can make 110. All right, that's bonuses just for doing something you're supposed to be doing. Okay, let's move on to chapter 17. We're going to look at 17 today, and we're going to look at it Thursday. We're going to have the test Tuesday. A week from today, you'll have a test. All right. Now, a lot of you have done no homework on chapter 15, 16. I hope you surprise me. I will predict you will fail the test, but please surprise me. I like that kind of surprise, okay? All right, we're going to be looking at ratios, liquidity, solvency, and profitability. This chapter is just ratios. Now, this chapter you can learn in a day easy, okay? Because you're going to have the formulas in class with you. Now, there is a page in chapter 17. I said copy it, don't tear it out. Now, if you have ebooks, can you print a page from ebooks pretty easy? So you can do that, okay? Now, if you forget your copy of these ratios, I don't want some other person in the room make 10 copies to give out. You don't need to do that. Everybody needs to be responsible. Make your own copy. All right. Liquidity has to do with current assets, how quick you can convert them into cash. That's all liquidity is. If a company is not liquid, it will go bankrupt. Solvency, they're interested in evaluating its company's ability to make its periodic interest payments and repay the face amount of any debt, which is called solvency. If you're insolvent, again, you're bankrupt. You got to be liquid and you got to be solvent. Investors evaluate a company's ability to generate earnings, which is called profitability. Investors such as stockholders are interested in evaluating the potential for the price of the company's stock to increase. You know, when you buy stock, don't buy stock unless you want to gamble, unless you want to take a risk. But now, I bought some bad stock and I bought some good stock. I told you I bought Disney stock for 19 shares. It's probably up to 110 or 112 now. So that's 5 or 6 times what I paid for. They paid me a dividend every year too, which is also profit. When I first bought that stock, they sent me a little Disney red watch, uh, and so forth. But anyhow, I have gained on that stock, and I've lost on some stock, but my gains far outreach my losses. Okay. Now, analytical methods examines changes in the amount and percentage of statements, which we looked at. Ratios, uh, we'll look at all of those. The comparison over time, we look at trends in the company, we compare with other companies. All right, horizontal analysis, vertical analysis, I slightly mentioned those. Increase and decrease in amount and percentage of comparative statements. All right, here is a balance sheet. This is horizontal. We'll compare it a year to a year to a year. Could be 5 years. From here, we're just taking the increase and decrease from one year to the next. Now, what percentage over here would stand out to you, William? What percent would stand out?
Long-term investments.
All right, long-term investment. Okay, we went from 200 to 100. That means we had to sell off 100, didn't we? But when you see a 50% increase or decrease in anything, you better check it out. That's easy to trace back to see that you sold your investment. Kelly, what other percent might stick out? When you look at it. What percent over here might stick out to you? All right. What item over here in the balance sheet would you like to see a big plus on? Assets went down 7%, not bad. Liabilities went down by 30 though. We paid off 100 of those long term. But what you should look at on a balance sheet, and what big percent you should look at, is retained earnings. Because what is retained earnings? What is retained earnings? Your income. From last year and this year and the year before, it's retained. Now, if we don't retain it, what do we do with it? We had it on that cash flow statement. If we don't retain it, we do what with it? Pay it out and give it. Okay. So, but that's a nice figure. Our retained earnings are up 137, 179. Now, our equity also went up some. You can sell stock and make that go up. Now, that's horizontal. I don't know if I'll give you one of those on a test or not. That's just calculating percentages. Okay, take your calculators and find 5.4%. Take your calculators and show me how they got 5.4%. You can calculate these percents with a balance sheet. Tanner, have you got that? Morgan, have you got that? You got 5.4%? All right. So how many of you have found 5.4%? Eva, have you got 5.4%? Everybody's got to have 5.4% on a piece of paper or your calculator, so we can move on. Right, well, you got it up there.
I got 5.7.
No,
did the
you gotta
same
get
thing.
5.4.
Switched it up.
What?
He switched it up. I switch these up all the time. I read left to right, so I think 2016 is old, 2015 is the new. And then
All right, you gotta look at your base year. What is your base year? The year you start with. That's your base year. You got that saved? Well, yes. And you're off that there now. Yeah. Hey, guys.
yeah, I got it.
Now what I'm doing is what? Can you get it? What? 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 What means your honor? Your honor means?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Right, to get on.
It's been a while. But I've watched it. Remember that? Yes. Just.
I'll pay for it here. I'll get 5.46. I pay for it. I pay for it.
Oh, I got it. I got it. I got like 94.6 and then
Whenever he.
Oh, I would like 94.6 and then I.
Oh, okay, that's long way to get it. That's okay. That's okay. But, okay, all right, let's take, so you're gonna decrease 25.5. And put in your base year of 4.7, divide that by 4.7, 25.5, divided by 4.7.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you gotta do. All right. Now, that is a horizontal analysis. I just want to see where the percents come from. Okay, if we move on down then to an income statement, it's the same thing. All right, it's still horizontal. You take the 298 divided by the 1,000,002 to get to 24.8%. All right, what numbers over here might stick out at you, Alexandra? What percent might you be suspicious of? Okay, now first off, Evan, what percent is the most important here? What's the most important percent on this income statement? It would have to be. I'm interested in my net income. It increased 19%. Not bad, is it? Okay. Now, Alexandra, which other one sticks out at you? Now, sales, that's good. Cost of goods sold went up quite a bit. Selling expense, you might want to see why they're so high, but you did sell more. You might want to know what you paid out more interest for or less interest. And of course, your income tax, I guess, did go up because your income went up, but 19% is your most important. Now that is horizontal analysis. That's all we need to say about it. All right, now let's look at a vertical analysis. Now stick with me on calculating these percents. Now, do you see a number up here that's 100%? Well, we always divide 100% into some other number. If a number is 100%, divide that into these other numbers. So show me how you get 39% right here. Show me how you get 39%. Property, plant, and equipment is 39% of something. I would only answer if it's my boss. Okay, we all good on 39%. Total assets is 100%. All right, divide 1,139,500 into 50 into 444,500 into 95, and you get these percent. And you're changing a balance sheet. Everything you own or owe is changed to a percent. That's all. That's called a vertical analysis. You also do it with an income statement. All right. And again, the income statement, we had more net income as a percent in 05 than we did in 06. Remember, sales is 100%. Sales is 100%. You divide it into every number down through here to break it down into percent. Now, you can divide sales into 455 and get 30.4. Or you can subtract 69.6 from 100 and you get 30.4. All right. We'll just break it down the whole income statement in percent. So the supervisor, an owner can look at that and see if something's going wrong or something's going right or something needs to be changed. All right, now what we looked at was a common size statement. When you change everything to percent, it's a common size statement. And we're looking at two companies here. Which company has the most best net income? Which company has the best net income? Madison. Madison also has cost of goods sold about the same, selling expense about the same. Now, Madison Company does better on their operating expenses. They both had the same other revenue. Madison Company just did better on their operating expenses for some reason. Now, some minimum wage is going up. I think DC, the minimum wage has been up. I don't know if it went to California or not, I think Illinois just voted in $15 minimum wage. Now, what's the minimum wage in West Virginia? Eight what? Alright, but for federal, it's probably still $7.35. Alright, now Margot, you work out at Ryan's. If minimum wage went up to $15 an hour, what do you suspect that Ryan's would do? Would you get as many hours?
They would have to find it.
What?
They would have to find it.
And they lay off some people, or you get less hours.
Yeah, raise the cost.
They'd have to raise the price of food. So if you get a raise like that, and you have to go out and pay more for everything, did you really get a raise? So I don't know about $15 an hour. That's a good economic question. Something out in Missouri to discuss with you, all the drawbacks and effects of raising the wage that high. Okay. I noticed one state, mom and pop restaurants, they used to have like a busboy. What's a busboy do, Marco, in a restaurant? You take, have a waitress, you have cooks, right? You have dishwashers. All right, but when the wage went up, they had to cut off either some of the busboys or some of the waitresses, and they had to do double job. The waitresses also had to be a busboy. Okay. But anyway, now here are the three liquidity ratios. And working capital, current ratio, and quick ratio. Now, turn to that page in your book where all the ratios are listed. Turn to that page in your book where all the ratios are listed. Now, look at the first three. McKinley Webb never made it in. Okay, now does everybody have one of these balance sheets where you did the cash flow statement wrong? You don't have one, let me give you one. Y'all may have to share, Kelly. Let's see. Hey, leave that short. Well, everybody can see one of these. Now, I want to show you how easy ratios are, and I need everybody to participate. You gotta get out of wall like that. Okay. You know, wall land, neighbor. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is just do what it says here. And on this balance sheet, for the first year, whatever it is, how's it titled, William? 2011. Give me the working capital. 2011, just calculate the working capital by looking at the sheet. By the way, you've been using cell phones, a couple of phones and flags. not on the test. Forget that, let's work the camera. Well, what?
It was like 329.5.
Nothing to do with what I asked. You did current ratio, I want working capital. Kelly, my econ professor used to write on my, we had essay questions, he would write on my test, good answer, wrong question.
Okay, at 182.
182,000, that's working capital. Can you look at that formula? Everybody just look at little, what you do and do it? You get that author? Working capital. How much is working capital author? I believe you and Eva, 118. I think you and Eva were both out there together in long range. Eva knows I'm just kidding, okay? She's used to it by now. Okay, now I want you to look at that same page in your textbook. What's the next ratio? Is it current ratio?
Yeah.
Now do what it says. Do what it says from that cash flow information I gave you. I just want to prove to you this chapter is easy if you got that major ratio. We got one day, Thursday to practice. What'd you get, Sage?
3.96.
That's right, Kelly? Kelly had that before anybody.
Yeah.
Is this correct, 1046?
Yeah.
I watched it 15 minutes ago. No wonder you were putting up the physics. Okay. For Thursday, one problem only. And it's a problem with the ratios in it. One problem only, of course, you should read this chapter. And I want you to try these ratios. We will practice these ratios Thursday. Oh, that's still 17.
We're in chapter 17.
Yeah, I know, we still need to see it. Hush water, though.
Please remember.
All right, problem 4. Problem 4 only. Problem 4 only is on page 874. Problem 4 only, okay? Practice these ratios, we'll practice them Thursday. You can have that sheet that you just looked at on the test. All right, you're gonna be okay on the test.
Yeah, what was this?
Thursday, I'll tell you the problem that will be on the test, okay?
Bless her. I need you a second.
Just a minute. All right, y'all too. Okay, how long you around here today?
This is my last today. I gotta go.
You're not here on Wednesday or anytime at all? All right, and you come in Thursday, about around 9 o'clock. Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
All right.
Um,